Hey guys, it's Jimmy. So this is Tugboat Actual, my new channel, and I'm gonna start reviewing guns. I spent some time writing gun reviews for years, and I just don't have time to write articles anymore. So I'm gonna start doing videos. So I want to do a tabletop discussion over a rifle I built 3 years ago and have absolutely fallen in love with ever since. This is what I call the Mk12 Mod6, and I call it the Mod 6 because it's in 6mm arc. That's a round developed by Hornady for spooky dudes, and we'll leave it at that. It was an unnamed contract for the military with SOCOM, and it was adopted by SOCOM before it was released to the public. First time that's ever happened. Anyways, I really like the outlook on 6-arc, the ballistics of it, and I started getting bored with standard Mark 12s. Built several variants, Mod H, Mod 1, Mod 0. In reality, I was just getting bored with 5.56. And so when I saw 6-arc coming out, how it was designed for the AR-15 platform, I knew that I wanted to build a Mark 12 in 6mm arc. Best decision I've made in a build in a long time. So, just to go over the rifle a little bit, it's a set of arrow receivers. These are not the enhanced, they're just standard receivers in flat dark earth. The rail is a now discontinued BCM QRF-12. QRF is the quad rail, 12 inches. I think that's an arrow gas block up front. The barrel started life as a stainless steel ballistic advantage 18-inch SPR profile 6-arc barrel. I have since made it not look stainless. Standard stock BCM grip, trigger guard. I have the Battle Arms Development ambi short throw safety. The Geisley airborne. Is this a super airborne or? This is just a super charging handle. I have airborne on everything else. Standard AR-15 bolt carrier group from PSA, the 6.5 Grendel, and I think I'm getting ready to switch that over to a different bolt carrier group. 3 years, about 500 rounds, no issues whatsoever. The optic is an Arkin EPL4 6-24x50 on an Arkin mount, 20 MOA. Standard Harris bipod. Harris sent that out to me. Dead Air Sandman K. Now, I'm only using this can. Long story short, it was a free can, free tax stamp. I'm not happy with it, except for the fact that it was free. This mostly spends its time on my 300 Blackout Mark 18 Mod 1 that I have. But for the time being, it is on this rifle. I'm in the process of acquiring an AEM5 TAC 30K. The AEM5 TAC 30K is the 30 caliber version of the AEM5 or the Mk12 model. The K. Now, the standard AEM5 30 is like 11 inches long. The AEM5 TAC 30K is 8.8 inches. That's the same length as the Mk12 model. So it will go with the overall look. If I get the K model, it'll be the same size can as the Mk12 model. Allen Engineering, Ron Allen, the guy that worked for Inc. Knockoff CAC broom handle. I'm not spending Knight's Armament money for that. And it was free. The buffer is a kind shot, however you want to call it, hydraulic buffer. If you haven't seen those, I recommend looking into them. They have really changed the game in the buffer system. But this is the buffer. It is, like I said, hydraulic. So that helps bring the recoil down quite a bit. It is the same, if not a little bit less, than the recoil from a 5.56, same barrel length, etc. The trigger is, I think it's the Geisley Tricon trigger. That was sent over by Roy over at Brown L's for review. Awesome. Love it. So, pretty simple. It's basic. I do run a bad lever on most of my guns. Only reason I do that, I don't do it to drop the bolt. Just locking it open, just a little bit easier. So instead of having to do all weird stuff, just use one hand, two hands, but don't have to get awkward with it. Anyways, like I said earlier, the round count on this is right at 500 to 600 rounds. I hand load almost all of my 6 arc for this rifle. I have found that with this setup, this barrel, disclaimer, every barrel's different. Don't use my load and then get pissed off because you don't like it. 26.5 grains of CFE 223 with a 108 grain ELDM 6mm bullet. The grouping is ridiculous. I took this up to, my old roommate took this up to the farm, and we stretched the legs. I think that day we were going to 500, and he's bouncing back between his AR-10 308 and this. And he said it's ring and steel with the same thwop that 308 has up to 500 yards. Zeroed it at 100, went out to 450, and he's expecting to hit dirt. It's dropping maybe that much difference. The gun shoots just so well, and for a build, normally you expect some type of issues with the build. Really, the only issue I had with this rifle early on was the magazines. I can't remember the brand that I used, but I completely quit using those magazines and switched to another one. Eventually, when I hit the lottery, I'm going to start using Geisley 6 arc mags, which are very expensive. But for the time being, I generally run a 5-round mag at the range. I have 26-round mags as well. But out to 200 yards, I'm not holding over. It's point of aim, point of impact, out to 300 confirmed. And that's with 100-yard zero. I've shot it during no winds, full value winds, and it is ridiculous. I love this rifle. Out to 200, you're stacking groups like this, half MOA, 3/4 MOA. And that's hand loads, it's not factory loads, so caveat, I have loaded specifically for this barrel. I found what it likes, and the performance when you hand load is awesome. This is the one of the few guns I actually put money into versus having something sent out to me. It's an amazing rifle. It truly is. I love it. I think I have right at 2,200 into it. Now keep in mind, this was 2022. COVID was still a thing. Gun prices were still through the roof. You're spending $150 on a brick of primers. So gun prices were elevated. Now, to rebuild it today, it's probably around the 1,800 mark, not including the suppressor. That was free. Everything else, it's right around the 1,800 mark. So, this is my Mk12 Mod 6. I will get out some range video at some point, put it in there. There's a couple videos already, some shorts I have of me shooting it. Suppressed from a tripod. If you have the money and you want to build it, you want to devote the time to developing a load for the rifle, do it. I'm hoping this year to get out and put some hogs down with it. We'll see what happens there. I've spent pretty much the past 3 years not taking a vacation to pay off my house. I also highly recommend that. It's a great feeling. So, this is my rifle. Mk12 Mod 6. Any questions? Drop a comment. It's a great rifle. Highly recommend building one similar. Don't copy me. Well, you can't. They don't make the rail anymore. Anyways, build a 6 arc. Build a short barrel 6 arc. Those things are awesome. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm gonna try to start being more regular with videos, some content, and I think the next one I'm gonna review the Sandman K. Like I said, I'm as happy as I can be for a free can that spends most of its life on my 300 Blackout. But yeah, beautiful rifle, shoots like a dream. Grouping is ridiculous. The only downside is the cost of ammo if you don't load, and it can be a barrel burner. I have some 77 grain cutting edge bullets, and I was shooting 3,200 feet per second with those out of the 18-inch barrel. So if you build one, get a couple barrels because you're going to burn through that barrel. Simple as that. I don't know how much longer I have on this one. It's still grouping like a dream. So once I figure out the lifespan of this barrel, again, it's a Ballistic Advantage barrel. I picked it up from Joe Bob Outfitters for like $160. I will update, do a video, and I'm going to get a little bit better barrel next time. But for the time being, tugboat out.